you can do that. Like, there's nothing you can do on that bar that's going to stop you. Like, just fucking squat. I picture myself lying in that ward, you know, tubes in me, and just going, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Let's squat this.
Yeah.
That's a great power to have.
Yeah. And like I said, it's a power that many people won't really be able to talk about personally having.
No, and I hope they don't have to.
Oh, absolutely.
I never hope and no matter how much I might not like a person, I never wish this upon anyone.
Yeah.
You know?
Just a casual conversation with Ty, like, what'd you get up over the Christmas, New Year break? Oh, man, just hung out with family, caught a movie, got cancer, did this and that. It's like, oh, shit. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Just casual.
Yeah, just casual. Yeah. It's a bit leukemia. And, yeah, man, I caught a really cool movie, actually. What do you reckon about this movie?
Yeah.
It's like, hang on a second, what?
Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah.
Welcome to the BJ Show, episode number 25. You're here with me, Ty, Ben, and Jay.
We are here. First one of the year, actually.
Yes, first episode.
2025.
Yep.
I found it bloody hard to start writing dates at work. You know, everyone always is on the old muscle memory of writing 24.
It's going to stay 24 for a while.
Yeah. 25.
25.
Fuck, it's been
that's actually really funny because normally I do struggle with it, but this year, for some reason, I was already anticipating the fact that I'm so ready for 2025 because and at work as well, because I'm a postie, I fill out a lot of cards and I have to write the dates in, and I was already anticipating so much. I was like, all right, come on, bring on fucking 2025. Yeah. I was so ready for it.
Is it because it's sort of in our minds a nice, neat number of 100? Like it's that quarter.
Yeah.
24 is a bit like jagged.
That's so true.
25 is
well, for us
like
85 babies, it's the big 4-0.
Big 4.
Yeah. It's a big year. Year.
Yep.
That's also depressing because it's 25 years since the new millennium, which I remember like it was yesterday. I remember from 99 to 2000.
Sitting up waiting for your computer to explode.
Yeah, all that shit. I remember the parties, the glow sticks, and that's it's quite depressing that it was a long while ago.
Jeez. Man, I remember from like the 2000s because I was a 95 kid, so by that stage I was 5. The early 2000s I was watching like, you know, Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
And fucking Wiggles, man. Yep. Those are the days.
Wiggles start back then.
Oh, way before then.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Those dudes are onto something.
Oh, mate, they are.
Really?
Yeah. They're true God. Like, have you seen I haven't watched the that new, what's it called? The documentary on the Wiggles. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't heard about it.
I've been wanting to watch it. Yeah.
It's quite when you think about it though, the person who pitched that, like, hey man, I got this idea. I'm going to dress up in bright colours and go and dance in front of kids.
Yeah.
You know, like young kids.
Yeah. And have a big red car.
Yeah. And I'm going to we're going to have a fucking pirate with a big feather sword. You in? It's like,
fuck yeah, I'm in.
Fuck, I want to be a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Purple dinosaur.
And we'll just sing and be happy and like play with kids. It's like,
that's a different conversation today.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to episode 25. We have a special guest with us, Ty. Now, before we start, this is definitely going to be a serious episode more than anything, but I love hearing about things that happen to us that change us and basically living a life where you don't have any other choice but to soldier on and power through. And so you yourself were diagnosed with some form of leukemia?
Yeah. So on the 28th of December 2019, I received a phone call from my GP.
Yeah.
I'd had a blood test about 7 a.m. that Saturday. By 9 a.m., the receptionist was calling me, and I'm refusing to go in. I said, I'll come in on Monday. Like, how important could it be?
Yeah.
Fobbed him off a couple of times. Then the mobile rings, and it's the GP, and he's just, do you want me to be frank with you, Ty? And I'm like, yeah, mate, what is it? Let's go. And he goes, mate, you got leukemia.
Yeah, shit.
And
wow.
Fuck, mate, it's the emotions of this is reality.
Yeah.
And the fear of the unknown. And those two things have just crashed head on at a fucking 100 kilometers an hour. And you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Except tell my colleague that I was with, I said, turn us around, take us back to the shed. I've got cancer.
Oh, so you're at work.
I was at work that day.
You would remember everything about that particular moment.
Super cheap auto. We'd called in to pick up some batteries. I still remember that.
Yeah.
I was driving the car and said to the colleague, mate, you're going to have to drive. I got cancer. Take me back to the shed. From there, called my wife. she was out shopping with her friend. Initially, we thought it was diabetes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? So
Of all
what
things.
did you go get the blood test for?
I was going to ask the same thing.
Yeah. So if we rewind it a couple of months, I'd had a series of ongoing symptoms, unexplained. It started with I did a lot of CrossFit at that time, and I just noticed my performance wasn't where it was. I was starting to feel weak, slow, sluggish. And there's all these things you don't know at the time, but they're all adding up. And once you get that diagnosis, you realize, okay, that's what it was. You know, I just had no energy. I'd stand up, I'd almost pass out, literally. Like those stars would come in, and
Yeah.
so I was having that, excruciating hip pain, which turns out later on, well, that's where your bone marrow is made, being a big primary joint, and they were drying out, and that's where the pain was coming from. And finally, we'd had Christmas was, I think, the same as the year just gone. Wednesday, Thursday, I had the Friday off. Friday, I went and did a eye checkup.
Yeah.
And they said, you got some cotton wool spots on the back of your eye. Could be immune system related. I said, funnily enough, I've been having some dramas. I got a blood test form there. I'll go tomorrow. So I went to the pathologist 7 a.m. on the Saturday, and by 9 a.m. I get a call. You got leukemia, and by midday I'm sitting in ED.
Shit, 2 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It was urgent. Like,
Wow.
get yourself to the hospital now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you cut yourself, like it gotten to the point that you could bleed out. If you cut yourself, have some, you could bleed out.
Yeah.
Wow. So you had the cotton swab looking things in the back of your eyes.
Yep.
And then you had performance issues with your physical body.
Yep.
And then you got your blood tests done. But what did you just tell the doctor that you've had these issues, you want to get blood tests done?
No, I'd gone to the GP and said, I've been keep having these things, like I'm dizzy, I'm passing out, trying to work out. So they did some ECGs on the heart and no, that's all fine. And to be honest, he'd given me that blood pathology form 3 weeks prior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just being a male, being young, I was like, I'll put it off. I'll get it done. And it really wasn't until the optometrist said, hey, you've got these cotton wool spots, that my wife said, fucking go and do it.
Yeah.
So there'd been a whole lot of incidents that had led up to that point, like my jaw locking up, I couldn't eat, feeling like I had the flu, but didn't have the flu.
Yeah.
Like just that's how run down I was.
Yeah.
Still trying to train, all that sort of stuff. And
Okay.
So 2019.
Yeah.
December 2019.
Yeah, right.
December 2019. From there, it's take yourself to ED with this letter.
Yeah.
Tell them you've got leukemia. So you walk in with this letter, receptionist, just been told I've got leukemia. Here's my letter. She's like, wait there. Opens the doors, go into that room, isolation. And from there, it's game on.
Yeah.
Doctors are coming at you from all angles. I met my hematologist for the first time. She just happened to be the resident at that moment on that day, and she ended up being my hematologist for the big part of my treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moved into the bone marrow transplant here in Townsville on the ward, where I spent the next 5 weeks undergoing treatment. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you don't mind me asking 2 quick questions, they don't have to be quick, but what sort of blood tests did they do to actually see that you had? Okay, how did they know that you had leukemia?
I think it was just a full blood test, full blood count, FBC.
Yeah.
And my hemoglobins were really, really low.
Yeah.
And I think your white cells were just through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they've just gone, well, that's leukemia.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating because
It's quite scary too.
it is scary because even for me, I've had some pretty some rough patches like that as well, where I've had some genuinely scary moments with my health, and I've been getting test results for like diabetes and stuff like that as well, and the doctors just keep saying to me, oh, your white blood cell count is a little bit high. I haven't checked for the other stuff either, but and I'm waiting to hear back on results on my own test results that I've just gotten, and I've got a bit of stuff going on this year as well. But it's really fascinating to hear how they were able to pick that up on the just that one.
They
blood
can
test.
tell so much through your blood test.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
And within
Yeah.
2 hours, when you think
Yeah.
about it.
And
I think the doctor maybe written urgent on the form or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how quickly it came back.
Yeah.
And the second question though I had was, if you don't mind explaining what leukemia actually is as well, just so for those of the listeners who don't know exactly what it is, and I don't know exactly where in the body, like leukemia, like what type of cancer that is.
So it's blood cancer.
Yeah.
Yep. Your blood's no good.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't go into a lot of the. I didn't read up a lot about it. I know my wife Tash did. She read a lot about what was happening, and to me, I didn't want to read it. I didn't need to know about it. You just tell me where I need to be, what I need to do, and I'll take care of the rest.
Yeah.
Like to me, reading all that stuff, it's not going to help you. Reading other people's trials and tribulations at that time, I don't need to know. But yeah, essentially, it's blood cancer.
Yeah.
Yep.
That sounds like something I'd do. Just, I don't want to know more. Like, I think we're our own worst enemies when it comes to reading into, things that are wrong with us. We put ideas into our head.
Yeah.
Which almost mentally make it harder to beat the more information we feed ourselves.
Yeah.
I probably would have done the same thing. Like, I don't want to know about it. Just tell me where I need to be, what I need to do, what I'm up against, that sort of thing.
Yeah. That was the mindset.
Yeah. That day you went into ED, so 9 a.m., you said you got the phone call?
Phone call from the doctor. No, midday I was at ED.
Yeah. Did you stay in for most of the day at all? Or what sort of was the plan of attack, I guess, over the next day or so after that? Did you have to stay in for a majority of the time for more tests, or?
I was there for 5 weeks.
Yeah. You didn't leave at all? Or?
Didn't leave the hospital for 5
Holy
weeks.
fuck. Yeah, right.
From there.
5 days?
5 weeks.
5 weeks, did you say?
That
Jesus. Fuck.
Yeah, shit.
Wow.
It was.
And sorry, just in the public hospital as well?
Yep, just up at Townsville.
Wow.
Yep, in the. So from ED, they found a bed. They had a spare bed later that day or night. I think about 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I made my way into the bone marrow transplant ward or the oncology ward here in Townsville, and into an isolation room, and that's where I spent the next 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you didn't really have a chance to prepare the outside life or anything. It was just there. And
From the
you're in.
moment I saw the GP, it was go home, pack a bag.
Yeah.
You'll be there a while.
Wow.
Yeah,
I can remember we still had leftovers from Christmas, and Tash was like, "Oh, I'll make you some lunch." I couldn't eat a fucking thing.
No. Yeah.
Your stomach's just in. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's unreal. And it was at the end of December too. I thought, you just said December, just after Christmas.
It was literally 3 days after Christmas,
Far
28th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember reading that just through, I think, CrossFit Townsville when we were training there at the time, did something just to let everyone know. And
Yeah.
they might not have said at the time, but it was when they were reflecting on your journey maybe a year or so after, they let that bit of the story.
Yeah. So it's right at the end. This has December always.
Yeah.
And this is honestly the December that's just gone has been one of the easiest.
Yeah.
As understandable. As that time of year comes around again, you start getting very nervous.
Yeah.
You reflect on it. You're very reflective on that time and
Yeah.
everything that where that started. But this year, which was in 5 years, was probably one of the easiest ones I've had. And I guess time heals all wounds. And
Yeah.
You don't sort of dwell on it as much, but
Yeah.
you're very reflective around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could somewhat summarize into a shorter version of, say, the next couple of years from that point, how would that look if you were to sort of try to explain it to us?
From there, it's I think I did 5 weeks of the chemo, which took me up to about March of 2020.
Yeah.
Went in for my normal weekly consult with the hematologist. She sat me down and said, "You're not responding. You need a bone marrow transplant.
Yeah.
So prepare for that."
Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Travel to Brisbane, have a bone marrow transplant in June of 2020. You get the all clear. You're cancer free. It's been a success. Have this 6 monthly checkup, Skype call or whatever it is with my transplant doctor in Brisbane, and he says, "Ty, we've detected leukemic cells in your blood again." And from there, it's back into hospital. And that was on the 14th of December. So
December's not a good month. No. Yeah.
So about a week before Christmas.
Yeah. The following year or?
The following year.
Yeah. So 2020 now.
We're talking 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, hey, there's nothing much we can do right now. Go home, try to enjoy Christmas. I think I went back in a few days after Christmas in 2020 to have another round of chemo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Far out. That's insane.
It's strange because like you obviously remember dates incredibly well, as you would with any of those sorts of things.
Yeah.
I remember December 2019, Boxing Day, just through videos I have on my phone of me and my family and all that sort of stuff. And you think about something so innocent and fun like that, you got no idea what could be around the corner within a couple of days.
Yeah,
like I specifically remember December 2019.
I've still got videos on my phone of me sitting around our pool,
a couple of days before,
and like a couple of days before, carefree.
Yeah,
but not so much carefree now that I look back at it and understand what had happened. You know, for the months leading up to that, I don't know how to explain this.
Yeah,
but in the days waking up, there was a darkness over me. Literal, the fucking Harry Potter movie and the tormentors are coming in. There's this, that's hanging over me every day until about midday, and it would clear. And the next day, it was fucking there again.
Yeah, really, like a vibe or
a vibe, a feeling, an anxiousness.
Yeah,
wow.
It was there every day.
Yeah,
and I couldn't explain it at the time. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not spiritual, but I believe there's something out there that maybe controls what goes on.
Yeah,
or have his influence, and it was telling me something.
Yeah,
like you need to fucking get this sorted out.
Yeah.
I can't explain it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things. Like I've always referred to, like again, talking about the spiritual aspect. Regardless of whether you're spiritual or not, I think there's a part of us that occasionally does question what our genetic makeup is in the grand scheme of things. And I've mentioned it previously on another potty. Like they've done some studies that when a human person dies, their body weighs 21 grams less. And they would argue that's, the weight of a soul or whatever. And then it makes you question, well, what is a soul really? Like, is it just electrons passing through our body? Like, and especially in my line of work, when I see all of us at the end of our life, it's like, what exactly keeps us alive? What is it? Like when someone passes away, all the body parts are still there. It's just something, there's a spark missing within us. And sometimes, that spark can just have these off vibes and
it's the same as you. It's probably whatever, you walk into a situation and you go, something's not right here.
Yeah.
There's something off here. Whatever that is was probably telling me there's something not right here.
Yeah.
And I guess I said I'm not spiritual. Maybe I'm not religious.
Yeah.
Am I spiritual? I don't know. But there's something more than we can see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I strongly believe that. Yeah. Belief is a weird thing in these sorts of times. Did you find that the way you perceive things or your beliefs were different when you were diagnosed with this life or death situation? Well, I think so many people just go about their lives without any thought into what if or whatever the case may be. But when you're faced with something that's, about to take you away, something has to change in your mind, right? Where you're like, all right, what's happening here? Did you feel that at all? Or
maybe, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Years later, I mean, as horrible as it is to go through that, there is kind of a blessing to it, and that little things don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people, a lot of friends, and they're getting caught up about this or that and fucking mortgages and what's best for this and what's best for that. And I explain to people, mate, all of this shit can be taken away from you in a second.
Yeah.
So just take a step back. Don't sweat the fucking small stuff and just enjoy it. Like stop, breathe, look around.
Yeah.
Take it all in. And that's really what I've taken away from it is just be present.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it can all disappear.
Did your outlook change as each year went by? And so you also went into remission at one point as well. Yeah. Yeah,
well, it was only a brief period of remission there at the start. Obviously been in remission now since February 2021.
Yeah.
But as the years have gone on, I've certainly become more appreciative of where I am and what I get to do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's easy, but you do become more appreciative and you slow down and you just take things in.
Yeah.
Take it in.
You would have an outlook on life that not many people would get to experience.
It's like a hard way to get
changes
there.
you. Yeah, definitely. Like it's not one of those things you're like, oh, I wish I had that outlook. It's like, no, you don't. But if you're not presented with any other opportunity, your outlook will change you.
I realize I'm living on borrowed time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I am. And I often say the devil sits on my shoulder
Mm.
and he's whispering in my ear, I'm fucking coming back for you.
Mm.
And that's something you got to deal with.
Yeah.
It's that fear of cancer recurrence,
Yeah.
It can be acute, very instant, smells,
Yeah.
moments, people say certain things.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or it can be, these big long waves where you're not thinking about it at all, and then sometimes you're thinking about it.
Mm.
And that's something you've got to get right with.
Yeah.
And how you deal with that.
Yeah.
In terms of like your coping mechanisms, because I know you haven't really stopped training. Well, I mean, you may have had to stop it during certain bouts of treatment, but it's been the one thing that I feel is consistent for you. And that's how I originally met you years ago through CrossFit and the love of just, like pushing your body to these limits to get your mental clarity right and everything. But did you find that really helped as well? Or did you find at one point you just wanted to not be around people, stop physical stuff altogether and just go into a hole? Or
I think immediately after you kind of just go, oh, fuck it, what's the point?
Yeah.
But you're right, training's always been a big part of my life, and it really never stopped throughout the course of treatment. It just was modified. When I went in, obviously the nurses, this guy must train.
Yeah.
Not fucking blowing wind up my ass, but they brought the aerobic bike in for me.
Yeah.
Hey, we got this for you.
Yeah.
Tash brought in some dumbbells, some bands.
Yeah.
So I could at least ride the bike, do some squats, whatever.
Yeah.
You had to get adjusted to, hey, training's not going to be what it once was right now.
Yeah.
But the benefits are the same.
Yeah.
Just having that routine each morning, even when I'm in the hospital ward, being able to wake up, do a little something, have some breakfast, whatever, eat what you can.
Yeah.
Massive. Even dealing with the effects of the chemotherapy.
Yeah.
I truly believe that doing a little bit each day allowed my body to process the chemicals and get them out of the body quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which made me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those people that don't know how leukemia treatment works, are you sort of in the same bed all day, a constant tube in you or anything like that? Or is there moments where you can sort of walk around and leave if you wanted to, or you're constantly tied to a machine? Or
Yeah, for the most part, I had a PICC line in my arm.
Yeah.
So you're hooked up to something of some degree, whether it's just IV fluids or antibiotics, because you're obviously going to pick up infections really easily.
So like mostly 24/7, this PICC line's
most of the time,
in? Yeah.
the PICC line's permanent.
Yeah.
But you're hooked up to the machine. Then you'd have your scheduled chemotherapy.
Yeah.
While I was on the ward.
Yeah.
You'd get brief periods where they're like, hey, we need to change your lines, do whatever, take an hour, go walk outside without your machine. Feel fucking normal for half an hour.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're hooked up to it.
Yeah.
Leading into my bone marrow transplant, I think I had about 8 weeks from when I was told to when it sort of kicked off.
Yeah.
And I went to my hematologist and said, look, I know that I need to be as strong as I can to get through this transplant.
Yeah.
I want you to take this PICC line out. You can do a cannula to feed me my chemo in the lead up to that. Take my bloods. I don't care. Take this PICC line out because I'm going to go back to training.
Yeah.
That's exactly. She was, righto, let's do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we took it out and, I've always had a home garage gym of some description.
Yeah.
And I was able to spend my time in there and, get as strong as I could for that transplant.
Yeah.
Wow. So, sorry, I was going to ask as well if you...
No, you go, man. Yeah.
So with the bone marrow transplant, though, is that... Just so I can understand a little bit more about it as well, because you're trying to build your strength up for it.
Yep.
Right. But the bone marrow is because of your blood was quite deficient with the, obviously not only with leukemia, but also the chemo. I would imagine that would also probably throw you off quite a bit too. I would imagine, right?
Yep.
Is your bone marrow, because you said before your hips were really sore because you weren't generating new bone marrow. So,
I think like the bone joints were all drying out, so it's incredibly painful.
Yeah. So the transplant, obviously, just for everyone to know, and as well, again for me, because I'm trying to learn about this as well at the same time, is because because you're not generating it, you need to put that back in so that you can actually start feeling a little bit normal, and your joints can start to actually properly work, right? And so, but you would have had to have you said you were trying to feel as strong as you can for that. But if you were already feeling as shit with all the chemo and the leukemia and everything like that, like, kudos to you for pushing through that, because that would have been ridiculously hard.
Yeah, but it provided also a sense of normality.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I had 6 weeks I could just get up every day and train.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking, we're not setting you at 1 RMs.
Yeah.
I'm back squatting 40 kilos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just moving.
Because I can. Just moving. Just, if anything, in reality, I'm not going to put on any more muscle in 6 weeks while undergoing all the shit that I was undergoing.
Yeah.
But just the mentality that, hey, I am getting stronger.
Yeah.
That's what, it's probably more just the mental side of things that allowed me going into that transplant. I'm as strong as possible to deal with this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really what training is for life as well. That if something happens, I'm as strong as possible to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that one of the first things you always wanted to go back to? Like when you knew you were in the clear, you start your training regime again?
Yeah. Yeah. So similar story.
Yeah.
I got out. So I had the transplant, I think day 14 or 16. Normally you sit there for up to 30 days in the ward, in the transplant ward in Brisbane. I think day 14 or 15. So I said to docs, I'm getting out of here. So I did everything I can to get myself out of there. I'm walking laps. I'm doing squats. I'm, everything I can to make myself better.
Yeah.
So I got discharged about day 14. Spoke to my old CrossFit Ducks, Greg Wilson in Brisbane, shout out. Said, hey mate, like this, he knows what's going on. Could I possibly come into the gym when no one else is there so I can start doing a few little workouts? He's like, yeah, no worries. So he opened the gym up on a Wednesday morning for me after all the classes. But I knew I had to get back to training. And at that time I had it's called a Hickman line. So instead of a PICC line, it's sitting in your chest. It's going up under your chest, into the side of your neck, into
like
your arteries.
Yeah.
Down sits on your heart.
Yeah.
And I was going in for the weekly check but they're going to use that to take the bloods.
Yeah.
And the nurse comes in and she goes to flush the line and it starts squirting water out. I was like, hey, there's a problem here. Like, that shouldn't be fucking happening. Get the doctor, look at it. And the funny thing was I'd had a conversation with him the previous week. Like, hey, mate, when can I get this taken out? I need to go back to the gym. No, mate, it's got to stay there for the 100 days in case we need to do this or that, rah, rah, rah. A week later, this thing's squirting water out. The nurse goes and gets him and he's looking at me like, you fucking did this. You did it. And I'm like, mate, I had nothing to do with this. It's just by coincidence that a crack has appeared. So they have to take it out. It's compromised.
Yeah.
I said, mate, I'm not putting it back in. You can give it to me through a cannula if I need it. Take my blood, stick a needle in my arm. And from there, it was back to the gym, back to training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's wild, man. Eh?
All right.
Just the resilience and like the perseverance and everything. Like I said, like most people couldn't comprehend to have to do that. But you put like an obstacle in someone's way and it's like, I'm getting over this.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need this thing in me. Like, there's other ways we can do this.
Yeah.
So I was back to the gym once a week at CrossFit Ducks.
Yeah.
But we'd taken down some wall balls and some bands and some dumbbells. And there's a set of stairs at the back of the Leukemia Foundation units where we were staying for the 100 days. And where I could, I'd run up the stairs or just do whatever, make up silly little workouts.
Yeah.
To every day we'd go down there and do something.
Yeah. How long were you living down there for?
It was 100 days.
100 days. Did Tash come with you?
Yeah, she was with me. Yep.
Yeah.
So they got a little complex there near the hospital.
Yeah.
Set of units and people, through leukemia stay in and
yeah.
Tash didn't leave my side even when I was first diagnosed for those 5 weeks. The hospital brought in like a fold out little trundle bed with a 3 centimeter mattress.
Yeah.
She slept on that every night for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Didn't leave my side.
True.
That's nuts, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Music, you said, was another thing that got you through. Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, you're right. You go. Yeah.
I was going to say music. I know you've talked about like certain songs or music in the past.
Yeah. There was just, I remember after I'd had that PICC line taken out and I'm in the home gym and I'm squatting, just listening to my normal playlist, not really paying attention. And the Stone Sour song, Hell and Consequences, comes on.
Yeah.
Could I just read you some of the lyrics?
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah. Yeah. I know the song too. Old school Stone Sour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how music can really, really help like move something in your brain.
Yeah, it was just, it spoke to me and I was just like, the opening I'm not a victim till I let you take me down. I'm not a target in the sights of your mercy. I never asked for anything I'm not asking now. I will not be afraid. I will not be afraid. And I was just like, fuck. And he's just screaming, I refuse to die. I refuse to die.
Yeah.
Tears are streaming down my face. I'm squatting. I'm just like, I'm not going to fucking die.
Yeah.
You're not taking me.
Yeah.
You know? And then every day I'd just play that, you know, fucking as loud as I could, just to remind myself, like, you're not going to take me.
While you're working out or just at home doing random things too?
Working out, whenever, in the car,
yeah,
in your headphones.
Yeah, having a shower.
Yeah.
Screaming in the shower.
You know, and my mum recently went through breast cancer treatment, and when I sent that song to her, I said, fucking listen to this. And she did the same thing every time she went through chemo.
Yeah.
She'd in the headphones, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, your music can just speak to you, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you ever tried to reach out to Corey to share that story with him?
No, I haven't. No.
Absolutely, you should, man.
Yeah, I should. And there's also a Birds of Tokyo song, you know, which I reflect on and play a lot. It's, you know, if this ship sinks, I give in.
Yeah.
And that come later on, once everything is cleared. Because what happens, man, for me, I ran on adrenaline for near on 2 years.
Yeah.
You couldn't stop me.
Yeah.
But you get cleared, you go into remission, and fucking reality just smacks you in the face. Not realizing, like, I'd spoken to some psychologists throughout the time, through on the telephone, and I just didn't relate to them. All I'm doing, I'm just crying. We're not really getting anywhere. But it was in that moment, I'm sitting there doing the dishes, and for whatever reason, I'm just bawling my eyes out, crying. And I say I don't know why, but at the same time, I do know why. It's because I'm fucking scared. I don't know what the future holds. And this song comes on, you know, and it's like, I'm trying to get my head straight. I'm playing in a game that I can't win. And to me, I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get my head straight, but I'm playing in this game by myself, and I'm never going to win fucking taking it on by myself. I need to get help.
Yeah. What song was that?
It's the last song on there, Birds of Tokyo. Self-titled album. Yeah. If this ship sinks, I give in.
Yeah.
And it goes on, and it was, to me, it was like, yeah, I give in. I'm done. I need help.
Yeah.
And from that moment, I turned to Tash and said, I'm going to go see a psychologist. And that's one of the best things I ever did, you know. And those first few sessions we have with him, I'm like, I'm there to talk about cancer. I think I'm there to talk about cancer.
Yeah.
And we're talking about all this other stuff, childhood and background and this and that. And I'm thinking, what the fuck are we talking about this for? Like, this is pointless. But after a few sessions, it all starts to make sense.
Yeah.
Why the things that have happened, of how I then now view the world.
Yeah.
And how I can overanalyze things and get stuck on these loops, and why that happens. And it allows me now to go like, okay. And that's probably why I am feeling better, because I've worked out who I am, why I think the way I think.
Yeah.
And it allows me to deal with these emotions and thoughts. And
I love that, because it's such an undervalued point of view. You know, like the saying I love is, we are the sum of our choices, or we're the sum of our actions or whatever, and our experiences. So two people can be diagnosed with the same thing. But if someone's been grown up knowing how to get through anything, good support base, all that sort of stuff, they're going to view that diagnosis as something completely different, as someone who's always had either no family, always just been a walkover, you know what I mean? So I love the fact that if you unpack someone's character, you can sort of look at the then and now a bit more, as opposed to the actual obstacle in front of you sort of thing.
Just, you know, he's taught me to, what do I know now? Because, you know, we talk about that fear of cancer recurrence, and when that comes and goes, and when it's ever present in the front of your mind, you got to be able to say, well, what do I know about this situation right now? What are the facts? Focus on the facts. If focusing on anything else will only lead you down a path of fucking despair. So be present, focus on what you know, and accept the facts as they are. And that's really helped. You know, I think the most vulnerable thing we can do as men, so the most gangster thing we can do as men, is to be vulnerable. You know, this whole mentality of don't talk about it and if I can bury it down, it's not going to get you anywhere. You know, for a man to sit and have a conversation about his feelings and his emotions, that's hardcore to me. You know,
fuck yeah.
You know,
that takes balls, man.
That takes fucking balls to sit there and be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so important because you've got to, and we've said this on multiple episodes.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. There's been many
Yeah.
men on our past episodes that have had to come to that realization that,
Yeah.
fuck, we need to talk about shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, drinking 1,000 schooners to deal with it's not going to help.
Nah.
No,
It's not.
no, that's right.
There's
Yeah.
something that just has this mental clarity once you can finally talk. You just see things different, I think.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
like a cloud's been, lifted off your shoulders or whatever the case may be. Like you're not heavy or as heavy as what you were
Yeah.
once all that's gone.
You've got to get that shit out of your head.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't
Yeah.
matter who you talk to someone,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
go and talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's so important, and that's why we've even said in past episodes, if you can't talk to a psychologist, talk to your mate. If you don't have a mate, talk to just someone you can talk to, and actually accept responsibility for your life and in your emotions and your feelings, and actually process stuff. Like, it's so important.
Yeah, and I think if you try to see a psychologist, you got to find one that works for you.
Yeah.
The first one you talk to, it might not work, but don't give up.
Mm.
Yeah.
Go find somebody else.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I spoke to someone on the EAP program, your employee assistance program, on the phone. I was going, I didn't really resonate with them, but I found one now, and man, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you engage in what they're trying to do, you'll get more out of it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Speaking of EAP and like what the place that you worked at, how did the transition work with work and everything like that? Like, so you got diagnosed, you were in ED and in the hospital for 5 weeks.
Yep.
And from that, obviously you had to cease work.
Yep.
Did you maintain your job that you were in?
Yeah, you're lucky I'm a government worker.
Yep.
So I went straight onto Q Super
Okay, cool.
insurance.
Great.
And I sat on that. And to tell you the truth, I wish I had sat there longer. But in that same mindset that I have with training and getting back to it, the same mindset applied to getting back to work.
Yeah.
As soon as I was, hey, you're in remission again, I was like, okay, boom, let's set up a return to work plan.
Yeah.
2 days a week for a month, 3 days, 4 days, full time.
Yeah.
And it was kind of at that point is when I crashed mentally because, well, I've returned to work. I don't have cancer. That's when everything hit me.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I wish I'd taken longer to go back. The doctor said, mate, we'll write you off for another 6 months if you want. Take the time. I was like, no, mate, I've got to fucking get back.
Yeah.
Let's do it. But look, hindsight's a wonderful thing. And if I was to do it again, which I kind of pray that I don't, I'll take my time.
Yeah.
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 Do you think at the time it was sort of like a bravado thing, like, no, I'm good to go. I'm fucking getting back out there.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
exactly like,
You didn't want to be like, in your mind, did you think that you were going to be perceived as weak at any point? Or
not so
Not
much
really.
weak, but I didn't want your sympathy.
yeah.
I go, oh no, don't go do that or don't go do that. No.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're doing everything.
Yeah.
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 You just want to get back there. And then, it's part of just returning to your normal life. And that's something you got to accept and deal with. And that was part of that mental struggle was your life will never be the same. You have to grieve the loss of your old life.
Yeah.
Well, I had to. And I would say most people that have gone through something like this, at some point you have to grieve the loss of your old life because your life will never be the same. That innocence is gone. The looking for the future and planning for the future becomes very difficult.
Yeah.
And you have to accept that and you have to grieve that.
Yeah. Coming to that realization must be quite interesting. Actually, reminds me of this clip going back to sort of the whole talking about things. About 6 months ago, whenever Deadpool and Wolverine came out, this is from the scene. No, there's a reason why I'm saying this. So, obviously, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are two of the biggest stars out there, and if you've seen the movie, it's a buddy comedy in some way, despite all its violence and everything. But there's a clip on YouTube of those two gentlemen sitting down and having a proper one-on-one with each other about choices, pressure, growing up, and it completely the exact opposite of what you think the characters of Deadpool and Wolverine would do.
Yeah.
And it was just such a wild thing to see. Even someone like Ryan Reynolds, who's known for making a joke about every single thing, being completely vulnerable in this 20-minute, 30-minute clip of those two about just two grown men who are openly having a talk about struggles with life. It just came out of the blue considering Deadpool, Wolverine, superheroes, and all of a sudden you've got these two actors that are just on pedestals with everybody talking about
Still being vulnerable.
the vulnerabilities of being men,
Yep.
their dark times in their lives, growing up, the struggles. And it was just such a out of the blue thing to pop up on YouTube. Like, I'd highly recommend it if anyone hasn't seen that clip. It's nothing funny or anything at all. It's just a fantastic display of two men who realize that, fuck, we need to talk about our problems. And I guess because they're friends, it makes it easier to talk about.
Yeah.
So fantastic watch for anyone that, just reminded me of before when you said, like, you got to talk to someone who understands you. That clip is a pure example of what I feel that encapsulates sort
and
of
I think,
thing.
so if someone comes to you and wants to talk to you about their problems, it's not always about offering solutions or trying to fix the problem. I think as males, that's what we're good at. You got a problem, well, I'll try and fix it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want it fixed. I just want you to listen. Just take it all in, and that's all maybe they need to do is just get it off their chest. And I get it out.
Yeah. I'll often have one or two friends that sort of have that sort of conversation with me. And before I'll talk, I'll say, do you want me to answer with a suggestion, or do you want me to answer just that I've acknowledged that I've heard what you're saying, sort of thing? And most of the time it's like, I don't want an answer. I just, as long as you're happy for me to tell you about it, I'm good. Once it's off their chest, they feel better. No one's fixed anything, but they can feel better to move on with their day just because someone's heard them.
Yeah.
And they don't want to, I don't know, man. For me personally too, like, if I have a problem, I don't want an answer with some things. I just need to let someone know I have a problem.
Yeah.
But I think everyone's caught in the fact of they need to have an answer to that problem.
They need to fix it. Or
So some
sometimes
people
giving that answer, or it might cause them more problems.
Yeah.
Well, now I've got another scenario I've got to deal with.
Yeah.
Just listen to me, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's super underrated. Just listening. Yeah. Not everything needs an answer. Some people just need a. In your, like, all the services that you had offered to you from, I guess, point of diagnosis to even like now, were they all easy to come by, or were there things that you could see, there's like maybe something slides under the radar with this organization, or I don't want to say like what could be better, because I guess that's sort of a broad in almost a disrespectful statement to some places that are still up and running, but like, how would you rate your experience with every external factor?
I think Townsville Hospital oncology ward, fucking amazing. Really, couldn't say anything bad about them. The nurses there, the doctors, 100%.
Yeah.
Looking back, I wish there was more support services or groups for people that 18 to 40, 45. I think I was 35 when I was diagnosed.
Yeah.
And I went to a support group at Leukemia Foundation, which, do amazing work, and this is not a fucking dig at them, but it was all people 60, 70, 80, who have probably had cancer for a number of years, and they just sat around whinging. And I'm not trying to knock them or take anything away from what they were doing. And they were just talking about how bad they've got it. And it was almost like they're sitting there trying to one up each other. Oh, well, this fucking happened, then this happened, this.
Who has the shittiest life?
Who's got the shittiest moment up until now? And I was like, this is not helping me.
Yeah. You want to be uplifted.
Yeah. I'm here to fucking kick some asses, and this you're bringing me down. And I never went back. So I wish there was more for people in that age group that are young. Like, I was just married, still trying to start a family.
Yeah.
For people that are going through a cancer issue in that demographic or age group, I'd love to see more, even just social groups to sit around and talk, have a coffee. And it's something I've tossed up a lot of trying to start something like that. And I reached out to Leukemia Foundation and said, look, and they've got, we've got something in place, but you've got to go through these steps and you've got to be an ambassador and this. I was like, mate, I just want to fucking set up a group where we can get down the cafe once a month and just touch base. How's everyone going?
Yeah.
Maybe one person's done something that really worked for them, and they can that thing might help somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's, something I've looked at, and just life, I haven't got around to doing that. But yeah, there's something around that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see, like, your demographic? I don't know if you know the answer to this, but what's the demographic of people diagnosed with your form of leukemia? Usually in the older population?
My specifically was typically in adolescence.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that. It's maybe childbirth up to 18. I don't know what the range was, but
it
was more of a younger adult adolescence blood cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't realize it was that young.
Yeah.
Mate, there's
Yeah.
kids 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing the exact same treatment.
Yeah, it'd be similar. Yep. The chemo path. Yep.
Do you mind me asking as well, when you did get diagnosed, did you find that you had a lot of professionals and doctors and everything like that sort of almost shocked at how young you were? Because you're only 35. And I know you just said, obviously, it's found in adolescence and stuff like that.
Yep.
But I've often found that a lot of doctors, nurses, all the professionals, they always say to people, anything under 35, just in general, everyone always says, "Oh, you're so young, you're young, fit and healthy." You know what I mean? And did you find that you had a little bit of like pushback and say, "Oh, you're so young"?
Yeah, there was I guess a few people that said, more to the point that this is a young adolescent cancer. I think people still in my age group still get leukemia, but maybe different forms.
Yeah.
But like they said, it's one of those things. Doesn't matter how strong or fit you are,
Yeah.
or how healthy you try and live. If it's gonna show up, it'll just show up.
Yeah. Yes, and that's so that's the thing, right? Because you just got me thinking about the fact that I mean, so I haven't struggled with anything like that serious before, but I had Bell's palsy when I was 2021. I can't actually remember the proper dates.
Yeah.
Before you're talking about you remember specific dates and stuff, and I'm like, I actually don't. All I remember from back then was that for me personally, I felt like I was quite young. The doctors don't know what happened. They think I might have had a stroke, possibly. To which I think back on it, and I'm like, I'm so young. I was fit. I was healthy. I was a hard-working man. Why the fuck did I have a stroke?
Yeah.
Or whatever other reason it was, and half of my face was paralyzed, and I was in hospital for a week, which it's not a comparison. But the thing is, I'm just saying that a lot of people back then were always saying, "Oh, you're so young, you're fit and healthy," and even still, when you go to a doctor these days and you say, "I've got problems, I'm not feeling quite right. Please, can you?"
Something's not right, yeah.
Yeah, something's not right. Can you look into it? Because everyone says go to the doctor, get checked out if you don't feel fine, and you go to the doctor. And I've found that a lot of professionals say to me, well, you're young, you're fit. Yeah, well, I'm not fit anymore, but you're young and you're healthy. You have nothing to worry about.
But you do hear horror stories, though, of it takes some people months to get a diagnosis on, not cancer, but anything, right?
Yeah.
The doctor's like, oh, you'll be, like, it's just, don't worry about it. Nah, man, run the test. Like, fucking let's find out what it is.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned Bell's palsy. I actually had Bell's palsy in the January before I was diagnosed. So
wow,
like 12 months prior almost.
Well, 10, 11 months prior, I had an episode of Bell's palsy, and I was told it's not linked.
Yeah.
But 3 other people I spoke to going through cancer treatment had Bell's palsy leading up to it.
Wow.
Tell me it's not linked.
Yeah, because it's in the nervous system. Interesting.
And a friend who went through, she's doing some Chinese medicine training, like acupuncture. In Chinese medicine world, what it was told, those 2 things are definitely linked.
Wow.
But in Western medicine, it's not.
Yeah.
So not to freak you out, but
no, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But then that just makes you think of like the mental. Yeah. I mean, I'm not freaked out about that, but it's the whole like you're young and you've got stuff to do, but at the end of the day, shit can happen sometimes.
Yeah.
And it does come out
and
of the blue.
I do remember the doctor saying to me, there is nothing you've done, there's nothing you've taken that has caused this.
Yeah.
It's not like you're a smoker and you got lung cancer.
Yeah.
It's just happened.
Yeah.
She did say to me, have you ever taken steroids? And I was like, oh, do I look pretty jacked? Like is that a compliment? I was like, I haven't, but thanks for noticing.
Yeah. That's bizarre that things can just literally show up in your body like that.
Absolutely.
I think it's a scary thing. Like if you really sit down and think about it, like a person, like you said, like healthy, inside and out, whatever, all of a sudden something just happens in their body. That's quite a scary
So from what
thing,
I understand, mine was caused by gene mutation.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia gene. they think that's what mutated and caused the leukemia. So I have to take a tablet every night, and we'll have to take one for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And its job is to stop that gene mutation happening again. And
Yeah.
I would think that's probably what stops it coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that one tablet. That's a scary thing too.
One tablet, and
one tablet could be life or death for someone.
Yeah, the difference between
that's nuts.
And thank God it's on PBS because it's $6,000 a bottle.
Holy fuck!
Oh.
How many tablets in a bottle?
30.
1 month worth.
Yeah.
$6,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you're about to get me like started on a whole rant on health industry.
Yeah.
I won't go there though. But
it's actually, geez, that's really interesting. I remember we spoke about on one specific podcast. I think it was an episode with, I can't remember who it was now. We were talking about tablets and taking tablets, and we said if you had to take a tablet for the rest of your life to stay alive, would you? And we kind of came to the conclusion that, I mean, I remember you, Benny. I think Benny was saying I would. Yeah. And I said I would if I had to, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I hate taking tablets for one, but at what cost? And obviously for you, thankfully you don't have to pay the
$6,000 for the bottle, yeah,
per month, man. That's phenomenal. But if you had to do it, and if you absolutely had to, I mean,
but where's the average person finding $6,000 a month?
Yeah,
spare.
Yeah, and I was also going to say, like,
you're not.
What's the value? How do they come up with that value? Is it the type of ingredients, where they have to source it from, or the
probably because of the
years worth of study, the cost of the study,
the job that it does, and there's no other options.
Yeah.
That's
so
there's
fucking
no other pills
man.
on the market. They probably hold the patent to it.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
So you charge what you want.
Yeah,
I do know quite a few people that have gone through different types of cancers, and seeing some of the costs that the government essentially wears because of that. I won't go down the rabbit hole of
I think for my bone marrow transplant alone is around $300,000 to $350,000.
Yeah.
If we were to pay for it ourselves.
Yeah. And I guess Australia too, having a really good medical system compared to many other countries in the world. Not to name other countries. I don't want to start that argument, but it's a scary
you
thing.
see some of that stuff from the States. People put up their medical bills and you just go, what?
Yeah. Even to call an ambulance to your house if you're having an episode at your home can cost thousands just to get the ambulance.
We just take it for granted. You pick up the phone and someone turns up.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine what it's like living in a country where you're too afraid to call an ambulance because you can't afford it. So you end up having a heart attack in your lounge room. Like, perspective is a very, very different thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like your life post all of this now, how different does it look? Like, do you sort of just try and get your routine the same every day as what it was prior to 2019? Or obviously you got a bub, which you didn't have back then.
Oh,
so lots
awesome,
a lot.
man.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Like, how different? Have you tried to just go back to your old normality of waking up same time, working out? Has it changed at all, or have you just tried to go back to old Thai ways?
Majority of the life is back to what it was.
Yeah.
Tash will train early. I'll train in the afternoon, and we balance, daycare pickup and do the best we can. And that side of it is, pretty much normal. We take overseas holidays and try and get away and do things. The other thing now is just I was getting blood tests every month. Until recently, we've pushed out to 6 and 8 weeks now.
Yeah.
Every time I get to around 6 or 8 weeks, my graft versus host disease flares up, and I'm back on immune suppressants. But we just, other than that, life's normal as it can be.
Yeah.
You deal with things as they pop up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have those blood tests, and through that blood test, there's this machine and can look at whether there's leukemic cells in the blood.
Yeah.
So that's hard. You imagine having a blood test every month or 6 weeks where you're waiting on the result to be your cancer's come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the more years that have gone by, the more tests that I've done, you're kind of just like, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine.
You're feeling more relaxed as time goes on.
You're more relaxed into it as time goes on. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, thinking back to some of the workouts you and I have done, over the last couple of months.
Yep.
You wouldn't think like that mindset has really hindered you at all. Like we fucking smashed out Grace a couple of months ago and almost killed each other in the process.
Yeah, yeah. There's certain workouts I love where you're like, I'll sell my soul on this one.
Yeah.
I think that day I asked the coach, put on Soul Bleach by Parkway Drive.
Yeah.
Fucking crank it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So, I was going to say, music can,
it can evoke a lot of emotion. And if I'm sometime by myself in the garage, I'll crank the music and get into it. And I think as well, accepting that my performance in the gym is, during Metcons, I'm okay just to be okay now.
Yeah, just
like
to
when I come back to it.
Yeah,
there was some dark moments in workouts. Fucking look what cancer's done to you. You're shit. You're never going to be the same.
Yeah,
and that was I had to deal with that and how to get past that to enjoy myself again. And now I've dealt with it. I don't need to try and be the big dog. I've conquered what I need to conquer.
Yeah,
I'm just going to get there and move today.
Yeah.
You know? It doesn't matter if I can come last, run out of time. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
It's almost like you could say to every single person in any class, doesn't matter if you can do a 100-kilo snatch, I beat cancer.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
do that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's like it's everything else is almost irrelevant. Oh, it's great. You beat this workout or you've got a great time. Fantastic. Well, I did this.
Yeah.
Try and beat that.
Yeah. And I try not to. When I first sort of went back to train, like, even just talking to people, I'd kind of somehow find a way to slip cancer into the conversation.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I did that. And I'd try not to do that now because I don't want that to be seen as, I don't crutch or, it's okay. Like, you've had cancer, mate.
Yeah.
It's all right. You can't do that. No, I don't want, like, most people do know, but I try not to telegraph that.
Yeah.
And, just use that to my own advantage. Like, going up to a 1RM squat, to have that power, like, in my mind, you fucking beat this. You can do this. Like, there's nothing you can do on that bar that's going to stop you. Like, just fucking squat. I picture myself lying in that ward, tubes in me, and just going, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Let's squat this.
Yeah.
That's a great power to have.
Yeah. And like I said, it's a power that many people won't really be able to talk about personally having.
No, and I hope they don't have to.
Oh, absolutely.
I never hope and no matter how much I might not like a person, I never wish this upon anyone.
Yeah. Just a casual conversation with Ty, like, what'd you get up over the Christmas, New Year break? Oh, man, just hung out with family, caught a movie, got cancer, did this and that. It's like, oh, shit. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Just casual.
Yeah, just casual. Yeah. It's a bit leukemia and, man, I caught a really cool movie, actually. What do you reckon about this movie?
Yeah.
It's like, hang on a second, what?
Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah.
But,
you're a real life Deadpool, mate.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Do you have a red suit?
Well, actually.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's one of those things, man. Like, you just, I think you should totally look into starting that group.
Yeah.
But obviously, you're going to need a hand. I don't know.
I don't know how it looks, whether it's just a Facebook group that I start and put on some of the local pages, like, hey, I'm going to be here at this time. If this is you, come have a yarn.
Yeah.
Maybe no one turns up. Maybe people turn up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if I can be consistent with that, but if it's just once a month on days where I'm not working or I've got the weekend off, hey, I'm going to be Fat Dogs Hammett Street, fucking 9 a.m. having a coffee. If you want to come down and talk about your lived experience, I'll be there.
When you actually, on that, when you were in the hospital, did you see many other people your age or sort of coming through with the same things, or did you sort of feel alone?
Yeah, at the time there was 2 or 3 other people I saw around my age group.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you because if you're in there constantly for weeks and weeks at a time, do you sort of form this weird friendship with them, or you sort of in the headspace of head down, bum up, just focus on your own thing to get through this? Or
in those moments, it was just like, I'm here doing my own thing.
Yeah.
I've since, as a year time went on, I did connect with them through Instagram and, we kind of check in every now and then and just see where everyone's up to and what they're doing. And, but yeah, not really. You kind of just in your own headspace, just doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's crazy. Like the outlook you must have is, you don't really, you're always going to be giving advice coming from a place that 1% of people will ever be able to give an opinion from, sort of thing.
Yeah, for
and like
sure.
you said before, like don't stress about the little things, or people tend to dwell on things that aren't important.
Yeah.
And there's an old saying I like, is it going to be important to you in a month? No. Is it going to be important to you in a year? No. Then don't worry about it right now, sort of thing.
Yep.
But yeah, you're pretty much living,
It's almost like
that.
don't cry over spilled milk, right?
Yeah.
It's,
yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just sitting there playing with my daughter, on the swing, whatever. And even, don't get me wrong, like there's still be moments where I'm like, oh, fuck, I need to go do this. Hey, well, look what you're doing.
Mm.
You're alive.
Yeah.
You're pushing your daughter on the swing.
Yeah.
Fucking don't worry about it.
Mm.
So I don't say that mindset's easy. You got to continue to like remind yourself about it. But
Yeah.
it's there.
I was doing some online shopping the other day, Boxing Day sales. I came across this nice like outfit that I liked. Went to buy it, didn't have it in my size, all sold out. I was like, fuck. I was pretty pissed off, man, because it was a good price. And I was like, fuck, it doesn't even matter. Like, I'm getting upset over a fucking shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, move
Yeah.
on, man. Yeah. So I have those moments myself too, where I'm like, it doesn't even matter.
No.
Forget it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just accept it for what it is.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's fascinating, man. You're the way that you've explained stuff is like, even when you said, I hope nobody else goes through it. Like, I hope, you hope that people don't go through the shit to learn it. But at the same time, you went through the shit, you've learnt it. Everyone goes through their own journey and has the perspective of that they have in their own head, because that's what they've gone through. You know what I mean? And kudos to you, and kudos to anyone else who have gone through the journey. And I do hope that you can, I like Benny said, I hope you can start that group, man. Because even if you can't start the group, if you can spark somebody else to also, do something as well, like just having that little bit of piece to add to somebody else's life would make a big difference.
Yeah. I thought about it again, and coming on the way over here, I was like, it reminded me, this discussion today. I was like, fuck, I've talked about this. Maybe I should do something about it.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be a big formal thing, controlled by anyone. Just people getting together and fucking having a talk.
Yeah.
It's like that book. We've spoken about it before. I can't remember the author's name. I can't remember the book's name either. Doing a great job at explaining this. But he says...
We'll put it in the bio later on. Yeah.
No, sure. He's talking about going to gym every day. And he says, going to gym every day doesn't mean, it means whatever it is to you. If just putting your shoes on in the morning is enough to spark that interest in you going to the gym, then that's what you need to do every day. Just put your shoes on.
Yep.
And then just putting your shoes on turns into getting into the car, getting to the gym. And then that turns into just getting to the gym. And then just getting to the gym means just doing something, just moving your body. And it's like...
Small steps.
It's like, go on the days you don't want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you get in there, you're right. You're fine. If you can just get yourself there and you do something, is better than doing nothing. How often do you hear that?
Yeah.
Literally just do something.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, do you have a favorite CrossFit workout?
Oh,
it's a question I seem to ask all CrossFit people on the podcast, whether it be for good reasons or bad reasons.
probably Grace.
Really?
Yeah. I love moving a barbell.
Yeah.
I'm no good on the Echo bike. I'm too small.
Yeah.
I don't like running.
Yeah.
Some of the more traditional ones, Grace. If you really want to hurt yourself, Kelsu. 100 thrusters for time.
Yeah.
Every minute on the minute, 5 burpees.
Yeah.
You'll learn a lot about yourself in that moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't done Kalsu for quite a while. Like Grace,
I keep
like
trying
I
to
said,
get the guys at the gym to
fuck
program
no.
it.
I mean,
Corey, Declan. Yeah. I if there's a lot of people that are new to CrossFit,
yeah,
they need to experience it.
No, they don't.
You've got to understand what that does to you.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, look, I agree. But then I'm like, man, if someone's new to CrossFit and you expose them to that in the first...
They're never coming back.
They're never coming back, dude. Yeah, they're like, fuck this.
Well, you guys are
Doms,
nuts.
Rhabdo.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, man. Well, it was an absolute pleasure doing Grace with you a couple of months ago, I think.
Yeah, it was.
You and I smashed it out. Fuck, that was a hot afternoon too. Yeah, that was tough. Grace, for Jay, who doesn't know what Grace is.
No, I know what it is. I don't want to do it. No.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm kidding. I'll have to do it one day.
Yeah. We'll take you along with us one day, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
come
man.
along and throw some tin around and
All right, man.
sweat our asses off.
Yeah.
All right.
A New Year's resolution, because I know how much Jay loves those.
Oh, don't fucking talk to me about new. This is taking us back to a whole nother year ago when we. By the way, we started this podcast literally a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So just putting that in there.
Happy 1 year anniversary to
Yeah,
us.
to you
And
guys.
thanks, Ty, for being our 1
no
year
worries,
anniversary
yeah.
guest. Yeah. Oof.
Booze.
No, well, thank you.
That's all right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, man. Genuinely a pleasure
Yeah.
talking to you about your whole story. I was just trying to sit back and just
Yeah.
listen and just explore your mind and see how you you handled everything going through the whole journey. And you know, you were only 35 at this time, and I truly hope that your journey forward
Thanks, man. Yeah.
just smooth sailing, man, and hopefully all the best for you and your partner.
Thank you.
And your
And
daughter.
a shout out to Tash too. I don't think partners are given as much kudos as what they are in sometimes. Like you said, like sleeping
Oh,
next to
man.
you on that bed every night.
Every
and
night, 5
awesome.
weeks.
upping, moving herself to Brisbane too. Like partners are literally just that.
Literally put a barrier between me and everybody else.
Yeah.
You had to go through her
Awesome.
first
Yeah. Fuck
to get
yeah.
to me. So you wanted to come and because people just want to turn up and see you.
Yeah,
But she's like,
yeah.
"Nah, you organised through me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Yeah.
no.
Who shout out to Tash?
Massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, I definitely couldn't have done it. You know,
Yeah.
because I couldn't. I probably wouldn't. I probably would have given up.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Mhm.
a lot of times she
Well,
kicked me in the ass and said, "Go out in that gym,
Yeah.
work out."
Yeah. Well, we're
So-
glad you didn't.
Yeah.
Shout out to you too. And also, it's usually customary for a guest to have a tip of the week or a tip of the month or a tip of the year, just a tip in general.
Mm-hmm.
Not that tip, but just a tip.
A tip.
A
Just
tip
a
if you
tip.
have one for everybody.
If you need help, go and fucking talk to someone.
Nice.
Don't
Simple.
bury it.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Burying it, yeah, that's a good way to put it. People
Don't
will just
bury it.
bury it.
I buried it for a long time,
Mm.
even
Mm.
before cancer.
Mm.
Angry. Didn't
Yeah.
need to be,
Yeah,
but now I understand.
yeah.
So don't bury it. Go
Don't
get
bury
help.
it.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks for
It's
having
an
me.
absolute pleasure, man, to have a chat to you about it all.
It's all right.
No, thank you.
And it's a pleasure to have another 1 year podcast with you too, mate.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah. No, that's awesome. But thank you. And thank you, Benny.
You're welcome, mate. Yeah.
Cheers to another year. And to you, Ty. Cheers
Nice.
to
Yeah.
everything in the future.
Yeah. Is it okay if we have all your links for this episode in case people want to reach out to you at all? Or
Yeah,
definitely.
no,
yeah.
chuck it on, mate. Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah, sweet as mate.
Definitely.
There might be
Yeah.
someone out there who's like, "Hey, I've been thinking about starting that group
Yeah.
too."
Yeah.
That'd
Hopefully.
be sweet.
That'd be fucking sweet if that
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's a good point. Yeah, reach out to Ty if you have any inspiration of starting a group with him or doing something or communicating at least to him. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a great idea.
And
Cool
to
work.
all you guests and listeners out there, thank you very much for our 1 year episode.
You just sounded so fucking seedy just then.
And
So,
this is where the fun happens now in the episode.
Yes, it surely
Yeah.
is. And
If you'd like to get dressed up in colourful outfits and have a feather sword and play with kids, you're more than welcome as well. So,
please email those photos to us at thatbjshow.com.
yeah.
Where you can also leave all the feedback as well if you have any topics of any discussion that you want to have on the podcast or on a Wildcard episode or anything, or if you want to reach out as a potential guest in the future.
Yeah.
Everything else we do is all on social media at thatbjshow. Literally everything. He does all that. I just edit
Talk of Tick,
podcasts.
Book of Face, Gram of Insta. It's all there.
it's all
Yep.
there.
It's all there.
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll wrap it up there, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks
Ty.
very much,
All right.
guys.
And thanks,
Cheers,
guys.
guys.
Catch
Thank
you
you.
later. Thank you, Ty.
No worries.
Yeah, pretty much exactly
There you go.
that.
You want that?
Yeah. I mean, we could have actually just kept rolling that, and that could be in the episode, or we could still do that, to be honest, if we want to. But yeah,
I don't mind.
it's up to me if I want to put that in or not.
Do
but
whatever you want. I might just grab my phone quickly.
Yeah,
So
man. All
this-
good.
yeah.
Yeah, all good, man. No stress.
Yeah. You got to send quick dick pic before we start. That's understandable.
Yeah, I don't have a toilet in here, but you can just face that way.
Yeah. Or just face our direction. We don't mind. Yeah. First dick I've seen this year.
Well,
Well, don't do drugs, kids,
don't do it.
unless it's marijuana.
In moderation.
Yeah.
All right.